When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes, is the answer. Now, here is the host of The Long Bearded Guy, the Chief Catalyst, Strategist Guide at Jewel International, Gordon D Melville.
Hey everybody, welcome. I hope you're getting into your 2023 in a great way. Lots of energy and lots of stuff going on. You're with the Long Bearded Guy, Gordon D Melville on Inspired Choices Network. And today we're going to talk about ready, set, be, as opposed to ready, set, do, which is what most people do. And at times productivity, when we talk about productivity, when we talk about doing, productivity means at times productivity means doing nothing whatsoever. Napoleon Hill said, I need to be doing the most productive thing at any given moment. Well, sometimes doing nothing is that most productive thing. Sleeping is that most productive thing. Watching Netflix is the most important thing, or at least the most productive thing. Why? Because it's time with family. There's other things outside of dollars and cents to create. Doing, as opposed to being, doing gives us a sense of control. And that makes things easier and more comfortable, the more comfortable option in our mind. Doing gives us a sense of control. We've talked about control a lot. Control is an illusion outside of what you think and what you do, how you execute. So, but sometimes if we're doing, there's a safety blanket for us. It's something that we hold on to and go, hey, you know what? I've got a hold of this. I can do. So we want to talk about that. I'm excited to be on. Deeply appreciate you being here. Deeply appreciate people showing up. And I know there's people literally all over the world. I've got some friends traveling in Europe at the moment. And I know they can't get into the chat room, but they will be listening. So thank you for all of you being here and the support and encouragement and reaching out and the emails and comments and questions and whatnot. I appreciate that so much. If you're in today, get into the chat room. Let me know you're here. Tell me where you're from, or where you're listening from, how you're engaging, how you're listening to us today, what platform you're on. That would be helpful for us to know, hey, you know what, this is working in these spaces. So get in and do that. Get a journal. If you don't have something to write down, please get something, a pen and paper, something to be able to write down. Taking notes is a way to be able to remember, and it reinforces the information in our mind. So I want to really encourage you, get a pen and paper, get something to write down. Excited to have you with us. Find us on, we're on more than 450 platforms. Excited to be on Google TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, all the iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you listen to stuff and watch your podcasts and things, that's where we'll be. So we're excited to be on all those different platforms. Please like, love, share, and subscribe. Inspired Choices Network is a free download in your app store, no matter what you're using. It's a free download on your TV, on your smart TV. So find it there and hook into us. We're trying to get the expansion and the reach to be as big as it can. I want to be able to, the message is great. And I think it's an impactful, meaningful message, but if nobody knows or nobody hears, then it has less impact. So we're trying to get it out. You all know my mission, 10 million men in 24 months with meaningful connection. That's a huge goal, but it's a massive, big, it's a mission, and it's a movement, and it's something that I will get done. It's a must for me. I have to be able to do that. And so whatever it takes to do that, Papa's going to look after it. He's going to bless it and expand. But that part of that runs with the people I'm talking to. So if this resonates with you, subscribe. If this resonates with you, bring friends, share it all over the place, because that's how our reach and my engagement will increase. So let's get after it. There's lots to talk about today. We're starting a series here that's going to be part of an online course, and people are going to be able to plug into that and talk about it, and we're going to teach from it. So but that's why I say, make sure you got a pen and paper to write some of this stuff down. We want to define what the difference between doing and being, and we've talked about this before, but we want to talk about who am I being when nobody's watching, in the dark and I'm alone. Who am I being? Not what am I doing? Who am I being? What's the definition? So the definition of do is a verb, right? And there's to bring to pass. to put, right? To do, to put, to perform, execute, or commit is part of that in terms of the definition of do. So it's I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other thing. We're going to do this. There's lots of different variations of that, but the concept of do, and it's not, doing's not bad. We need to execute, absolutely, boots on the ground. I can read as many motivational pieces as I like. I can listen to motivational podcasts and videos and all this good stuff. I can listen to great stuff, but at some point I can make a plan. But at some point I have to put boots on the ground. I have to execute the plan. So there's nothing wrong with doing. It's when doing becomes the focus instead of who we're being that there's an issue or a challenge. It's not that there's anything wrong with doing, but it needs to be an outcrop or an extension of who we're being. And I hope that resonates. When we think of a definition of be, to be, there were gobs of definitions of being, like so many definitions of being. I think, therefore I am. That's being, right? To exist, occur, or take place is to be. Having the state, quality, identity, nature, role, etc. Occupy a certain position or area, to be someplace. Embody, personify. So a character. So, Mark Garofalo, I can never say his name, is the actor that be Hulk in the last Avengers movie. So to be, to spend or use time. I may be an hour. Well, you're not physically an hour, right? Even it's a metaphorically in a sense of I'm going to be an hour. I'm not actually time, but to spend time or use time is to be. So that's definitions of to do, or pardon me, to be or to do. And again, doing should be an extension outcrop, a natural, logical next step to who you're being. And it's much easier to do when you're in alignment with who you're being. And I know the grammar is going to get a little bit weird today, I know, but hang with me, okay? So in terms of, so in being mode, who I'm being, the mind has nothing to do, nowhere to go, and can be focused fully on moment by moment experience, allowing us to be fully present and aware of whatever's here right now. In doing mode, by contrast, this wonderful multidimensional complexity of experience is boiled down to a narrow one-dimensional focus. What does this have to say about my progress in reaching my goals? That's doing. One-dimensional. Doing mode involves thinking about the present, the future, and the past, relating to each through a veil of concepts. But being mode, on the other hand, is characterized by direct, immediate, intimate experience of the present. Oh, powerful, powerful, powerful. I'm going to read that one again. Doing mode involves thinking about the present, the future, and the past, relating to each through a veil of concepts. What does that mean? So we're anxious or stressed about the present, the future, and the past. In doing, we're thinking about the activities in that space. In being mode, on the other hand, it's characterized by direct, immediate, not past, not future, immediate, intimate experience of the present. We've talked about that before, being right here, right now is a gift. Lisa Marie Presley was at the Golden Globes on Tuesday night, 54 years old, died yesterday. we're not promised later today even. And I don't mean that to be a negative thing. I don't mean that to be a, we gotta be neurotic and weird. No, but live in the moment. Give yourself the gift of being right here. It's not about what you're doing per se. It's about who you're being. And you know what? Be who you are. When I first shaved my head, I've said this before, I shaved my head a little bit. It's what I wanted. I don't give a crap about what other people think. I'm being me. The beard is me. That's me doing something I enjoy. It's me being who I am. And I challenge you, be you. Be who you are. And if people fall away from that or they don't like it, that's not up to you. And you can't control that anyway. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Be authentically you. I can't stress that strongly enough. Be who you are. And then allow who you are, who you're being, to help you become who you want to be. That's why it's so imperative that you have a vision for your life and then reverse engineer that crystal clear. If you need help with it, reach out. I can help you with that. I've done that with lots of people, hundreds and hundreds or thousands of people I've done that with. Help them figure out what their vision is, and then reverse engineer that, back that up to find out what their definite major purpose is or what their chief aim is that's going to get them to there. And then we reverse engineer that to find out what the goals are, because those are the easy steps. The goals become really easy once you have your vision and your definite major purpose, because it's logical, right? It's just, these are the things I need to do to get to there. But then you execute that. As you execute or do, as you execute that, that's an outstep, an outcrop, an outpouring of you being. We've heard it all said, I can't pour from an empty cup. And so people talk about protecting what's in the cup. My brain says, you know what? I'm not worried about my cup being empty. Something I've learned is that if I keep pouring into my cup and pouring into my cup and pouring into, that's why do I read? Why do we journal? Why do we listen to good stuff? Because garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. And if you can't see that because you're listening, I'm pointing at my head. Garbage into my head, garbage into my head spews garbage out of my mouth. What's the fuel? We're going to talk about that next week. What's the fuel you're using? But what's going in is what's coming out. You can't expect to have good stuff happening when you've got negative stuff being held inside. I can't be positive with a negative mindset. It doesn't work. But so I want to focus on who you're being, who you're wanting to become. Because I think there's a whole concept around that talks about, and we're going to talk in the next segment about this a little bit, comparing, because there's challenges to that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in the next segment. Real quick, and I want to do a couple quick shout outs just before the break. One is to Jose Escobar, my brother he's the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. He's just retired from corporate America to be an entrepreneur full-time. Very exciting, incredible human being. Check out the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf to learn more about the morning and evening routine mastery program that's changing people's lives. This program will help you install systems on the bookends of your day to maximize your morning and evening routine. Set up a free strategy session with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at www.theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. The second one is my sponsor and good friend, Kat Schwarz, is the founder and CEO of a groundbreaking company called Compassionate Healing Services, and offers a completely unique approach to treating physical and mental health challenges. Check her out on Instagram at Compassionate Healing Services, or email her at info@compassionatehealingservices.com. Great lady. She's such a powerful person, and what the services she provides are unbelievable. So reach out to her. So Jose and Kat, thank you. And to all my other founding sponsor partners, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about comparing be and do. We're going to talk about the 5 challenges of be versus do. So don't go anywhere. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. We'll see you on the other side.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to the longbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. All right, so I want to talk we've been talking about ready, set, be, because we want to make sure, hey, the be is where who you're being is the most important thing. What you're doing isn't as big a deal. It needs to be there, but it needs to be an outcropping. It needs to be in alignment with who you're being. So there's 5 challenges that or mistakes we make in being, in trying to achieve that being, the focus of who we're being. There's I want to share 5 challenges. So again, I hope you have a journal. I hope you're writing this stuff down, because awareness is king in terms of being able to change stuff in our lives. We have to have awareness. We have to understand what's going on. If I don't know there's a problem, if I don't see there's a problem, if I'm not aware of a challenge, I can't fix it. Excuse me. Right? I can't fix it. I have to be aware of what it is. So if write these things down. 5 challenges real quick, or mistakes that we're making in achieving being. The first one is our beliefs are not based in reality. Our beliefs are not based in reality. So we're believing something that's not there. They always say there's 3 sides to a story: his, hers, and what really happened. Right? These people, those people's, and what really happened. Why? Because we all bring a bias into a situation. We all bring our emotion in a moment to that. We all bring our experiences into that. So we're all kind of viewing it from a different perspective, a different vantage point, if you will. So our beliefs, what we believe, is not based in reality. You know, someone's told us for years and years and years and years, you're not good at math. Our parents or our teachers or somebody around us as we're growing up, hey, you're not real good at physical stuff, or you're not real good at whatever. And that builds this paradigm into us. Hey, I'm not good at this. And then we don't challenge it anymore. We just, hey, I'm not good at that. Okay, where did that come from? So our belief is based not in reality, is number 1. Number 2, we let limiting beliefs control who we're being, and thus our ability to execute. We let limiting beliefs control who we are being, and thus our ability to execute. Limiting beliefs. So the first one was our beliefs not being based in reality. Now we're talking, hey, you know what? Number 2 is letting those limiting beliefs that aren't real anyway stop us or slow us down from executing and getting to where we want to be, being who we want to be. Why? Because our limiting belief stops us. We don't understand. Again, we're back to that. We don't understand our worth and our value. And we talk about that here real quick. Number 3, once we let our limiting beliefs control who we're being and thus our ability to execute, then we do what we mistakenly believe. So we're acting out and we're executing on, we're doing activities that are not in alignment with who we really truly are. And then we wonder why we're exhausted all the time and frustrated and can't seem to get where we want to go. We're not doing something that's in alignment with who we're being. I want that to settle. I'm pausing. It's not a break in the feed. I'm pausing because I want you to understand how, number one, insidious it is that we go after, that we're allowing those negatively reinforced limiting beliefs and paradigms to stop us from getting where we want to go and for who we want to be. So we do what we mistakenly believe is number 3. Number 4 is doing the how before we know the why. Our purpose is to be doing the how before we know the why. The how doesn't matter. Matter of fact, the how will show up once we step into the why. Once we understand our why, once we have that definite major purpose or our chief aim, the how will become easier. One of the sentences I gave to my sons, is this: I don't have to know how. I just have to ask, believe, and receive. I don't have to know how. I just have to ask, believe, and receive. So part of the mistake is doing the how, trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? The how doesn't matter if your why isn't deep enough. If your why isn't where it belongs, or it's a must, I got to do it. If it's not at that level, the how really doesn't matter. I see lots of people that sit down and go, oh, I've got this really good program and I want to write this good program. And I've got this, I think it's amazing. And they spend months and months and months or years generating and developing and incredible stuff. And then they go out into the market and there's no market for that. What happened? They were working on the how without being in alignment with the why, or understanding what the why was. They say to be successful, find yourself a problem, a challenge that people have, and then find a way to solve that. It's very simple, right? Restaurants, what's the challenge? Well, people are hungry and don't want to cook for themselves. Great. What's the solution? Well, we show up in a place, we sit down, somebody comes to us, takes our order, lets us decide what we want to eat. They give that order to somebody else who makes that, cooks it for us, and then the server brings it back to us. We didn't have to do anything, no cleanup, no prep, no nothing, and we pay a premium to do that. I have to know. That's just solving the problem, right? Number 5, our why or definite major purpose or chief aim isn't paramount. The challenge or mistake we're making in trying to achieve being is that our why or definite major purpose or our chief aim isn't paramount. It's not a must. I've got to do it, which is what I was just talking about. Right? It's not something I would like to do. It's not something I wish I could do. It's something that's, well, it would be good to do. It might be hard to do. Yeah, it might be good. No. It's an absolute I have to do this. Once it gets to that point, it's a burning desire. That Napoleon Hill talks about, a burning desire. It's got to be something that just festers inside you. I've got to get it done. I've got to get it done. That's when we find we're being. It's much easier to be. We're more in alignment with who we're being if we have a why and a definite major purpose that lights us up and just fires us, in which case we're not really working. We're executing, but we're focused on being. And I hope that resonates. Being is who you're being, who I'm being, and who I'm wanting to become. Who you're wanting to become is paramount over every other thing. Why? Because that's how you're true to yourself. Once you get that into your psyche, and that becomes part of your daily life, it becomes way easier. Opportunities show up all over the place. I had a friend, a colleague, actually he's a sponsor for the show, reach out this morning and say, hey, I know your calendar's getting busy. I want to book you in September for a men's event. Awesome. Where does that come from? And it's happening over and over and over and over and over. Why? Because I'm now in alignment. Who I'm being is in alignment with my purpose. And it's now at a point where it's a must. I absolutely will have a meaningful connection with 10 million men globally in the next 24 months. That will absolutely, unequivocally happen. And once that get into that space, then the how starts to be right. There's people that start to come out of the woodwork. I go to events and talk to people and connect. And they come to me and say, hey, we need to partner. We need to, that was always there. I already knew those people, most of them. There's a couple that I didn't know, but most of them I already knew. But once they feel your heart and they feel your passion and they understand what your mission is, they're like, hey, I want to hitch my coattails to that. I want to hitch myself to your coattails. I want to be involved with that. It inspires people. Stuff that's bigger than us inspires people. And people will follow somebody that has a huge vision. And 10 million men sounds like a lot of guys. Papa keeps telling me it's no big deal. That's not the target. It's the jump point. We'll start to count after 10 million men. I'm just dumbfounded with that. But on both sides of that, it inspires me, it lights me up, it excites me, and it scares the hell out of me all at the same time. And I think that's what makes it good. If you set goals that are that I can reach, that I know I can hit, that are realistic, that realistic goals are a recipe for mediocrity. And people won't like that. But you know what? If I set a realistic goal, it's bullshit. Pardon my language. It's crap. Why? Because that doesn't inspire me to get out of bed and push and grind. Why? Because it's good. I like it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's realistic. That's realistic. Goals are a recipe for mediocrity. Period. We wonder why we celebrate media. We're at a point now in society where we celebrate mediocrity. It's horrendous, but being able to push, we need to be focused on what the challenges are, at least be aware of them. The 5 really quick before we go to a quick break here. Our beliefs are not based in reality is number 1. Number 2, we let our limiting beliefs control who we're being and thus our ability to execute. 3, then we do what we mistakenly believe. So we're executing out of that limiting belief. 4, doing the how before we know the why, because our purpose is to be. And 5 is our why or definite major purpose or our chief aim isn't paramount. It's not a burning desire. That's something that you just will not let go, and it has to be there. I hope those resonate. I hope that makes sense to you. And once you're aware of that now, to be able to look at your life and go, hey, you know what? Where do I stack up on all of those? Am I on a positive side of those or a negative side of those? Do I have limiting beliefs? We all have limiting beliefs. How do I take them away? How do I change the paradigms? How do I flip the paradigms? Take the bad ones away, put new ones in. If you don't know, reach out to me. That's what I do. Mentor, coach. That's what I do. High performance coach. Anyway, so we're going to take another quick break. A little 15-second commercial for myself. The shout outs. The first one is for my friend, Kat Schwartz, is the founder and owner of Compassionate Healing Services. If you email her at info@compassionatehealingservices.com and mention the long bearded guy, you'll receive 20% off one of her services. That's $100 savings off Kat's most unique offering, which is a spiritual private investigation service. Kat will use her skills as an evidential medium to reconnect you to with a loved one who crossed over and provide proof that their continued presence is in your life. Email her at info@compassionatehealingservices.com. It's an unbelievable service. Kat is an incredible human being. Reach out to her. The other one I want to highlight is my brother, Jose Escobar, is the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Connected Leaders Academy membership to take your business to the next level. This is the perfect tribe to learn, grow, and connect like never before. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe brings together some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. Set up a virtual coffee with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at www.theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. That's an incredible group of people. If you want to elevate, if you're an entrepreneur with a history of success and your ego isn't so big it won't fit in a room, then you probably might qualify. So reach out to him. It's an incredible organization. It's a incredible group and family and tribe. So I want to give him a huge shout out. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, but don't forget during the break to pause and breathe. Center yourself. Pause and breathe. Be in the moment. Be right here, right now. Give yourself that gift. In the next segment, I've got this really cool story that was really impactful for me in terms of being versus do. And I want to share that with you. So stick with me. You're with the long bearded guy, Gordon D Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. Don't go anywhere.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Thank you for still being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. If you haven't heard it today yet, I love you. Big hugs. You have infinite worth and value because you are. Let that sink in. Infinite value because you are. not because of what you do, but because of who you be. And I know that grammar's baffed, but because you are, you have infinite value. All right, so we're talking about ready, set, be. So we get our ducks in a row, and then we want to do, because there's comfortability to that. It gives us a sense of control, which is an illusion, but we have that sense. I want to just touch real quick on something that's absolutely counterintuitive. Sometimes focusing on being instead of doing is counterintuitive. And what do I mean by that? I found this article. As you know, I read lots and lots and lots and lots. And I came across this story in this illustration, and I was like, you know what? That's absolutely brilliant in terms of how it explains the difference in a really tangible way between being and doing. So I want to share this with you. The Navy SEALs test their ability to deal with stuckness. So stuckness, not being able to move, by drown proofing. Their feet are bound together, their hands are tied behind their back, and they're thrown into a 9-foot deep pool. Most of us are going to try and do what? We're going to try and get our hands out or get our feet out or what. And then we get frantic and have anxiety because, I'm like extreme anxiety, right? I'm going to drown. I'm going to die. Oh my God. Well, and so we're looking to try and do. Amazingly, their key to survival is not strength. It's not endurance. It's not even their ability to swim. You're like, what? Wait a second. Strength, endurance, and their ability to swim. You'd think those are 3 key components to try and save yourself when you're in that situation, to stop yourself from drowning. The key is to stop doing and just be. I was like, ding, 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 ding. Amazing. Unbelievable. Stop doing and just be. And the gentleman that wrote this article, this story, Mark Manson, he described it like this: the trick to drown proofing. Now, this works in a pool. I don't know if this would work in a lake, depends how deep it is, I guess. The trick to drown proofing is to actually let yourself sink to the bottom of the pool. From there, you'll lightly push yourself off the pool floor and let your momentum carry you back to the surface. Once there, you can grab a quick breath of air and start the whole process over again. My mind gets blown. I'm like, that would probably never have occurred to me if I hadn't read something like this. Our human instinct is to fight, to try to untie our string, to take control, to do. But sometimes it's better to do nothing and stay with our fears until a solution shows itself. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes it's better to do nothing and to stay with our fears until a solution shows itself. To just be. We're frantically trying to do. Sometimes all it takes is to stop, pause, breathe, take a deep breath, and focus, and just be. Lots of times the solution to the challenge will present itself. And I'm sure they found that trick to drown proofing. Somebody either was brilliant to come up with that, or somebody realized, trial and error, hey, you know what? As I'm struggling and fighting, and you go down and down and down and down and down. And when you hit the bottom, there's the bottom. Just a second. And you push yourself to go back up. And it says gently in there, which I thought was very telling. It says you sink to the bottom of the pool. From there, you lightly push yourself off the pool floor. Why lightly? Because if I push myself hard, number one, it's expenditure of energy that I don't have. So trying to conserve energy is first part. But secondly, if I come shooting up out of the water, I may not be able to do what I need to do. And then I'm going straight back down again, lightly pressed off the bottom of the pool and go back up. And as you crest on the surface, you take a breath. But that's counterintuitive. Our human instinct is to fight, to try and untie our strings, and to take control, or to do. I think that's a brilliant, brilliant illustration between the difference of be and do, and the struggle that doing creates for ourselves. Why? Because we didn't use any, we didn't logically think about what was going on. And a lot of times that we let our emotion drive what's going on. And there's emotion, there's nothing wrong with emotion. Emotion keeps us understanding what's going on, and it helps us interact with our world. There's nothing wrong with emotion. The challenge is we get stuck in that emotion. We get stuck doing in that emotion. Sometimes when I get angry, that's better, much better now. But back in the day when I was a kid, I would drive my emotions and when I say drive, I mean in my car. If I was upset or frustrated or angry, I would drive way more aggressively than if I was in a peaceful state. What was I doing? I was doing how I was feeling instead of being. And focused, it says, sometimes it's better to do nothing and stay with our fears until a solution shows itself. You know how I feel about fear. It's not real. It's a construct of our brain. Can it get us going? Is there benefit to it? For sure. Sometimes there can be. But at the end of the day, it's not about staying in the fear or any of the emotions, even the good ones, because it's going to go away. Those situations, they're going to go away. Those emotions are going to go away, good, bad, and otherwise. It's coming and going and coming and going. All these different things are moving through our life. We're moving through them. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's not good. But that's a choice we make. Acknowledge the emotion and then let it go. Acknowledge that it's there and then let it go. Life gets so much simpler, so much easier when we don't live in that space. You've heard me tell a story real quick, just before we take another quick break here, about the $86,400 in the bank, and someone steals $400 and we get pissed off and we burn the other $86,000. And people go, Gord, that's crazy. People would never do that. We do it every day. And sometimes it's not just $86,000 we burn multiples, 3, 4, 5, 7 times that much. What am I talking about? We all get as soon as the clock strikes midnight at 12:0001, 1 second into the new day, we all get a new bank, 86,400 seconds in a day. And somebody cuts us off in a roundabout and we lose our minds and we're like, oh, and we get all angry. And we burn the other 86,000. Why? Because our attitude's in our butt, our head is in our butt. We're frustrated and pissed off. So we're like, well, no, wait. And we let the day go. And sometimes it's not one day. Sometimes it's multiple days, depending on what happened. Somebody really frustrates us or really angers us, and we let them steal days of our time. Acknowledge it's there, because you have to acknowledge that emotion is there. I'm not saying it's sad. Don't think about that sad. Just be happy. No. Acknowledge it's sad. My wife's godfather died this week. It's sad that we were close to him. That's sad. But we don't live in that space. Do we acknowledge that emotion? Yes. Will we honor him? Absolutely, we will. Do we feel sad for the time we're not going to be able to spend with him anymore? Yes. But that's the grieving process. And that can take, they say statistically, 3 years on average. And grieving doesn't mean necessarily a loss of a person. It could be a loss of a job, loss of a relationship, loss of lots of different things. can be a grieving process and take time. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to give time and space for that. But we don't want to live in that sadness. We don't want to live in that frustration or hurt or anger or all the different emotions, even the good ones, right? We were happy and joyful. Do we want to stay there? Yes, we want to stay there, but life is going to happen, folks. And if it hasn't yet, it will. That's just life. It's not about what happens to us. It's about how we respond to that. How we respond to what happens to us is what matters. We need to take another break. And I'm hoping, I was talking about this with somebody this week, and our heart, what we're heart sharing is what's important. Legacy. We're all leaving legacy. It's just, legacy is just what we've poured into other people through our life. We do it every day. We do it daily. Pay attention to what your legacy is leaving in people, even people that you don't know, people that you're just passing by, people that are just coming across your path in any way at all. Be cognizant, be aware of what you're pouring into them. Be aware of who you're being to them. So as we go to this break, it says shout out to me, the king of EQ. What's EQ? Your emotional quotient, which I think is even more important than your IQ, which is your intelligence quotient. Why? Because people don't give a crap how much you know until they know. So they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so your EQ is what I teach. I teach entrepreneurial men how to get in touch with their emotional quotient, how to get in touch with their emotional intelligence. And that's a huge deal for me. That monster mission. It's a must. I have to do that. Why? Because a lot of us don't have, and we need it very badly, especially in this day and age. We absolutely need it. I want to just touch real quick before I take this break. On Mo Mondays, I co-own a storytelling franchise here in Waterloo. So if you're local to us here, watch for the ads, look or reach out to me. Tickets are on sale. That's the 23rd at the Jazz Room in Uptown Waterloo, 7 o'clock to about 9:15 or so. Inspirational entertainment. There's 4 amazing speakers, including the Inspired Choices Network founder, Christine McIver. She's going to be one of our speakers. So excited about that. One of the other hosts, Karen Leslie, is going to be there speaking. And we're going to have live entertainment with a world-class flamenco. I always mess that word up. Flamenco guitarist. And if you don't know what that is, I'm not going to tell you. You know what? Think Santana. Unfreaking believable. This guy is world-class. Unbelievable. So get your tickets quick. There's early bird for the next few days. Get your tickets, and we'll see you there. I got to take a quick break, pay some bills, but you're with don't go anywhere. We're going to have a really, really cool exercise when we come back. So you're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. See you in just a second.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Long-Bearded Guy with Gordon D Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me. You know what? We're just about the end here. The exercise real quick is to focus on who you're being. So you sit with your in a comfortable chair with your feet on the floor, flat on the floor, in a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you can, if that makes sense to you. And a lot of times it's easier to concentrate and to focus when your eyes are closed. So close your eyes and sit in the chair and feel where your feet are on the floor. Be really conscious of what your feet are doing, how they feel against the carpet or the linoleum or the tile floor, how your toes are feeling, sitting on the floor. And just sit and feel the sensations of the bottoms of the soles of your feet against the against the floor. And just pause and really focus in the quiet. Focus on what that feels like. And then curl your sit like that for a little bit until you have that really good feeling of where your feet are. And then curl your toes as hard as you can and hold it. And feel that burn in the knuckles of your toes. And you're just clenched up, really tight, clenched up, and hold it for as long as you can. Hold it for a minute. Hold it as long as you can. Feel how that feels. Be aware of what the sensations are. And I'm doing it as I'm talking to you. Do it, but do it so that you feel it in your toes. What the sensations are, how your toes are feeling on the floor. And then let it go. And feel what's going on in your feet and in your toes and up your legs. What's going on is inside your feet. It's inside your toes. It's not on the outside, right? We talked about the beginning of this exercise, feeling what the outside of your foot felt like on the floor. Once you scrunch your toes, now you're going, okay, wow, you know what? I can feel that in what's going on inside your foot. What's going on inside you is who you're being. And I'm going to challenge you. You know what? Practice that as a call to action and as an exercise this week. Journal what you're feeling. Write it down in your journal how that makes you feel. That's how you click into and become aware and dial in who you're being. Focus on what's going on inside. Listen to what's happening inside. Who do you want to be? And then unabashedly, unembarrassed, without any reservation, be 100% authentically you always. And the people that like that will gravitate, and the people that don't like that will go away. And that's okay. Be okay with that. Because you're now surrounded by the people that will support you and will cheerlead for you. It makes a whole huge difference. I'm telling you that being as opposed to doing makes a whole huge difference. Get with me next week, same time, same place, same wonderful station, for what is your growth fuel? What is your growth fuel? What are you using to fuel yourself? What are you using to propel what's your tackling fuel if you're a water boy guy or lady, a person? What is your growth fuel? What's propelling you? Because that's something that's inside. That comes from a flow out of who you're being. It really is. So what is that? We're going to talk about it. We're going to explore that next week. So what is your growth fuel? Bring a friend or friends. Find us on Inspired Choices Network. And as we go into this next week, as we go into the weekend and whatnot, make it. You have the power to do that. Make it another great week. I love you. Massive, massive hugs. Live abundantly and with intention. Intentionally make it another great week. We'll see you next week. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for tuning into the Long Bearded Guy Show. You are appreciated and loved. Gordon D. Melville returns Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on the InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, make it another great week, leading with love, powerfully designing, crafting, and living out your positively impactful legacy life you were created for. Big hugs.